ladies and gentlemen, it's not his fault, but he's here today, and I'm very excited to include him on the show. MLW's own, well, now he is, at least he made his re-debut. He showed up at the Battle Riot, and he's going to be at the Fallout from 2300 Arena at Never Say Never. It is the one and only Snisky. Hello, Snisky, how you doing?
Hello.
Can you hear us all right?
I can hear you.
Perfect.
Why can't I hear you?
Oh, now you can't hear us.
You hear us?
How about now? Can you hear us now? This is a banner day for us.
Yeah, a lot of audio issues here today.
You know, when I rip this show, I'm gonna have a lot of.
I can't hear you.
You can hear us. Can or cannot?
I feel like he said can't.
Cannot. Yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some fun here. Okay, you can see us. We're okay. Hang on. I'm gonna, for the audio friends, you're gonna get this all clipped out later on. Pop in the settings.
Work some magic here, Joel Pearl.
Oh, and he just popped off.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. The beauty of a live show with guests.
Hopefully he comes back. Okay, let's see if this works.
Right.
We'll see. I'm just gonna let him know. Let's try bringing him on again. Okay, let's see if he can hear us now. Maybe he can actually give us a thumbs up. He can hear us now. Wonderful. Snitsky is here.
Right.
Hello.
What's up?
How you doing?
Tremendous. How about you guys?
Doing well.
Doing well.
Gotta love technology, right?
Yes,
That's how it goes.
exactly.
Well, let's hop right into it. You made your MLW debut and really your wrestling return after a few years at the Battle Riot. How'd this all come about? What brought you into MLW and what's keeping you here?
Well, I got contacted by Lance Anawai, who was, part of the Samoan dynasty, and his dad actually trained me. His dad and his grandfather, Alpha. So he reached out to me and was like, "Hey, Oos, you want to, do some stuff with MLW? Court wants to bring you in." I was like, "Heck yeah, man, let's do it." I love those guys. I love Court. I know Court a long time. We go way, way back. He's, created quite a thing for himself here with MLW, and I was honored to be involved. And here we go. Let's do it. As the show says for Saturday, never say never.
Do you know who you're facing on Saturday? It just says you are in action. Have you been given a heads up, or are you just gonna kick whoever is put in front of you?
Well, I've been told by a little birdie that it's possibly Micro Man, but if that's the case, he's going to be Nanometer Man after I get done with him, because I'm going to knock him around like a redheaded stepchild. And no offense to redheaded stepchilds, but you might want to have the stretcher ready in Philly, because I'm bringing it, and I'm bringing it hard and fast, and whatever happens, it's not my fault.
Okay, hold on. If Micro Man is the guy that Snitsky gets, what are the odds that we see a certain punt spot come back in MLW now?
Well, I hate to be cliche, but never say never.
Of course.
Yeah, see how I'm plugging that name right into almost everything I'm talking about? It's called Marketing 101, boys.
Do you have the "It's Not My Fault" T-shirt? Because I was listening to an interview, I believe, with Brian Hebner, where you were on, and you said you'd make a killing off these shirts, but you haven't done them. Do we have these ready to go?
We do. ProWrestlingTees.com. Just search Snitsky. I got all kind of merch there. They were nice enough to contact me, and we started a little store there. So any Snitsky fan could get your Snitsky merch at ProWrestlingTees.com. And then just search Snitsky. I have a plethora of amazing items, if I say so myself.
Are there any weird items that you've got in there that you wanna plug?
It all depends on what you consider weird. Weird to somebody might be awesome to somebody else. So you got to specify. What do you mean by weird? Are you calling me weird?
No,
that hurts me.
Yeah, Joel, are you calling Snitsky weird?
Don't make me come through the screen.
Yeah, will you punch Joel Pearl? Will you punch him and then kick him and then just basically beat him up?
I definitely can make that happen.
Yeah, there we go.
We're back. You're part owner of an army surplus store. You're clearly there right now.
Yes.
Talk to me about the store. And I want to ask there, what's the weirdest thing that y'all sell?
Well, that's a tough question. Hey guys, what's the weirdest thing that we sell here at Priority One?
Sell or stall?
Sell. The gentleman on the podcast asked what our weirdest item to sell is. That's a tough question. Like I said, it all depends on what you consider weird. We have survival gear, we have food items, we have medical items, we have clothing items, we got ammo cans, ammo, mags. I mean, it's quite a large store, as you can see.
Yeah, it's massive. Holy crap.
Yeah. It was just opened. Oh, here you go.
Okay.
This is a nice dummy grenade, which we call a conversation piece.
I'll say. Just confirm
See that?
That is a dummy grenade, you're saying.
Yeah, that's not going to go off on this show.
Works
right
really
now.
well for dummies.
It works really well for dummies.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we sell all kind of stuff. We're here in Hamburg, Pennsylvania, 1744 Tilden Ridge Drive. I'm usually here, so stop by if you're a wrestling fan, or even if you want to get some survival stuff or some, food items. We sell MREs, we sell all kind of stuff. So stop by, say hello. I'll always sign autographs and take pictures. I love my fans. So stop by and see me here at Priority One Surplus in Hamburg, Pennsylvania.
I was going to say, how many people come up and are like, hey, can I get an autograph, or just scream at you like, it's not your fault, and then, move on. Like, how many wrestling fans you attend for that?
Let's put it this way. If I had $1 for every time that happened, I wouldn't have to work. It happens quite often.
Yeah, that would be good.
My one guy that works here, Aaron, he was in the background shaking his head. Yes. He's a airborne guy. So we have all military guys working here. It's great. It's a good spot, man. If you're looking for what we sell, stop by. Be happy to talk to you, happy to take a picture, happy to sign autograph.
So you said you have $1 every time someone would approach you and ask you for an autograph or say it's not my fault. What brought you back to wrestling, if not those dollars that people will give you for that opportunity?
Like I said, man, I like Court. I like, obviously Lance. I'm tight with Lance, the Anawai's, the whole family. They trained me. I know all of them on a personal level. I love those guys. I just like entertaining, man. The guys here at the shop will tell you, I'm always goofing around, always trying to have fun. And what better way to have fun and get to beat people up than pro wrestling, right?
So I would assume the most infamous segment that you've been part of was the baby punting segment. And I know you said this is a Vince McMahon idea, but I have to ask. So this segment happened in November of 2004. In July 2004, a little movie called Anchorman came out, and there's a very famous scene where Jack Black punts a puppy off of a bridge. Do you think that scene was the basis for you punting this baby?
Honestly, I don't know how it materialized, but at the time I was at WWE, I was working with Dan Madigan, who wrote Kane's movie, See No Evil. Dan's a great guy. I still keep in touch with him. I love Dan. He came up with that whole storyline. So you'd have to ask Dan how that all materialized. But to this day, I still get people coming in. Oh, I just watched your thing where you kicked the baby. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy how that took a life of its own. Because like you said, that happened in 2004 and we're in 2023 now. So if my math is good, let me pull off my shoe so I could count to 10. Hold on. That would be roughly 19 years ago. So yeah, it's crazy how people still come in and talk about it. But as a performer, it's cool to be remembered for, what you did in the ring and your work and your body of work. And like, I'm on the top 50, oh my God, moments of WWE. I got like all kind of stuff. Best Royal Rumble elimination. Every year at Royal Rumble, they play that video, me and Paul London. So yeah, as a performer, it's awesome, and I love my fans.
You talked about the psychology of wrestling recently, and that you're not big on like the acrobatic show that wrestling has kind of become. I want to put that on its head and ask you, can you, this big man that you are, if there's a pool, can you do a flip into the pool, or are you just more like?
Oh, I don't need a pool to flip. I'm very athletic. I was first team All-State in high school in football. I'm actually inducted into the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame in 2018. So I'm a legit, real professional athlete, and I'm not a gymnast. I don't pretend to be one, and I haven't played one on TV. But I'll tell you what, if it comes down to it, when I first got to OVW, I would do a skin the cat to get in the ring, and I got yelled at. They're like, "Don't ever get in the ring like that again." I was like, okay, I thought I'd show off some of my athleticism, and they were like, "Nope, you just want to be big and scary." I was like, okay, I could do that. Yeah, I could do backflips. I could do all kind of stuff. I just, the nature of the beast with my character, Vince just wanted me to be a big, scary, crazy guy. So ironically, that comes naturally.
But has there been any like inclination or any like wanting nowadays to try something like that? I mean, a superplex is one thing, but like just to say like, hey, I can do this and kind of show off for a second, or is it like psychology among everything, like above everything?
To me, when I started training, Pops off a senior would always tell us, less is more. As a big guy, make everything mean something. So like I was always trained like a body slam. Let it sink in, let the person in the very last row absorb it, and then move on to the next thing, and then the same, and you know what I'm saying? So like I try to keep that alive for a big guy. I want to make everything mean something. And like if you look back on my footage, that's just how I worked. I've always worked like that. Like, I've had matches with Undertaker, Kane, John Cena, and when I hit them with a clothesline or whatever, you knew they were getting hit with a clothesline. I wasn't making it look like I'm pulling it up or like shortchanging it. Those guys knew if we called a clothesline, they were getting clothesline. That's just how it is. I mean, I always was told by Pops, got to make it snug. You got to make it look real. You're a big guy. If it doesn't, they're gonna know it's not real.
You mentioned working with the likes of Undertaker, Kane, John Cena. Any advice from those guys whether it was a character perspective or in ring work?
Just like I was just saying, I learned a lot off of Glenn. Just work your style, work your size, work your look. Like, I think that's the problem with wrestling these days. There's too many guys that want to do the gymnastic stuff, the flips, the flops, the this, the that. Like, if you saw me walking down the street, you wouldn't see me and go, oh, my God, that guy. I bet he does an amazing cartwheel into a backflip, into a superplex, into a cannonball. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at me and you think, man, that guy's going to kick somebody's fucking ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the portrayal of my character. I want people to see me and think, man, that guy's going to kick somebody's ass. I don't want someone to look at me and go, oh, yeah, that's the guy that did the superplex or the moonsault, or like, that's just not my character. I think people need to stick more in the character and portray the character that, they're trying to portray. That's just my opinion on it. I mean, there's a lot of athletic guys out there that could do all the stuff, but if everybody's doing it, what makes it special? If everybody's doing the same thing match after match after match, what makes them stand out? What makes them differentiate themselves from somebody else? Nothing, because everybody could do a body slam. Everybody could do a suplex. It's how you get your character over, how you translate your character into those moves. Like, when I do my stuff, like my facials, my body language, like all that kind of stuff, you want to incorporate that into the move. And that's what I think helped me to stand out all these years, and people remember the stuff I did, because everybody watches my stuff and they're like, man, that time you clothesline Paul London. I was like, dude, I told him, I said, I got to clothesline you right in the face to make you flip over like that. So it's coming, be ready for it. And that, it's just how it is.
What would 20 years ago, Snitsky, what would you tell him now if you had that opportunity?
Buy a hot tub and a sauna. Recovery is essential these days at my age. I'm 53. I'm jacked as heck for 53, though. Look at that. How many 53-year-old guys that look like this? Nobody. I'm a physical specimen. I'm 6'6", 260 pounds, lean, muscular, ruggedly handsome, amazing beard. So the recovery aspect would be what I would tell a 20-year-ago Snitsky. I'd say, hey, get a hot tub, get a sauna, recover. Try to recover as best you can. Because back in those days, we just wrestled, went on to the next town, went out a little bit here and there, wink, wink, and then just the recovery portion of it, because I never took care of myself when I was younger. I just went out and did it and, moved on to the next show. These days, it's funny because I'll come home from a show, like Saturday night I had a show, I got home 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting out in the hot tub till 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, and then that morning I got up, I sat in the sauna. So just like recovery stuff, because I've always worked out. I've always been athletic. I've been playing sports since I'm 8 years old. So I've had a very successful athletic career, translated over into wrestling. So I would just like to have known about recovery and nutrition and that kind of stuff back 20 years ago, because I never really followed a certain diet or, recovered properly or any of that kind of stuff. It's just work out as hard as you can, wrestle as hard as you can, move on to the next show. But, you live and you learn. And now that I'm older, I've, experienced a lot of things, and I know how to avoid certain things and how to feel like, I need to, feel a certain way to get back to, performing for the weekend. So, just stuff like that. But you live and you learn. The older you get, you pick things up. And like I said, no matter what time I get home from a show or what, whatever, I'll be sitting out in the hot tub and just chilling in there. And I actually just went to Tractor Supply and bought one of them big giant horse troughs, and I put ice water in it, and I'll sit in there. Then I go to the hot tub, then back to the ice bath, then back to the hot tub. So yeah, stuff like that. My neighbors probably think I'm nuts, but I don't care, because I am probably a little nuts. I mean, running around in your underwear at 53 years old, it's not the normal thing to do.
You were part of a very famous match, the 17-on-2 handicap elimination match, where you and 16 other men faced John Cena and Randy Orton. This match gets brought up a lot and is memed a lot online. Do you have any memories of working this match and a 17-on-2 handicap elimination match?
I just remember the nightmare of trying to set it up, because with that many guys involved, it's almost like a Royal Rumble, because everybody has their spot, everybody has their time. It's I always joke around with the guys here at the shop. I'm like, man, I have enough trouble remembering what I did yesterday. I don't know how I remembered all that stuff back then, with all the chair shots I've had and the tables I've been through, and the guys just laugh. And then I showed them videos and they're like, ooh, because back in those days, you got hit with a chair, you didn't put your hand up, you just got hit with the chair. There's a meme or meme or whatever they call them going around. The Big Show hit me in the head with that kitchen sink, and you can see clearly in the picture, I don't have my hands up. I'm not protecting myself. I'm just getting hit square in the head with a kitchen sink. And it, luckily I have a very thick cranium, because I've been hitting the head with a lot of things over the years, not counting the stuff my wife hits me with in the basement.
Hello.
But speaking of wives, hello, Carolyn, my beautiful wife, Carolyn. I love you. I won't tell anybody our secret basement activities.
Does it involve a giant trough and an ice bath? No, we don't have to get into it. It's okay. Go ahead, Jeremy. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna, look, we gotta mention the feet stuff here. I didn't know if that came into play, because let's
just put it this way: to not disrespect my wife in any way by talking about other women's feet. My wife has the nicest size 10s you'll ever find, and that's why she's my wife. We'll just leave it at that. How about that? She's 6'1". She played college volleyball. She's jacked. We have a gym in our basement at home, and I got to try to keep up with her, man. She just turned 54, and she's tall, lean. So I can't be like the fluffy part of the relationship. I got to be, I got to look good for the wife.
Speaking of looking good, you've got this giant beard. I know you mentioned it. Do you, because we're all bearded guys on the stream right now, do you have a beard care routine? And what is it, if you do?
It's funny. I get asked that a lot. And I don't. Actually, my buddy here at the shop, Aaron, that I was just talking about, he started growing out his beard. And the only thing I ever told him was condition it, and get a good brush. So he has this real fancy brush, and he's following my lead, and he's growing a very stellar beard. So anybody out there that wants to grow a stellar beard, follow Snitsky's 2 rules: condition. That was 3. I was just seeing if you're paying attention.
You've mentioned in past interviews your relationship with Gold Dust and how you guys were supposed to win the championships, but Dustin was kind of going through things like that. Have you talked to Dustin in the past since all of that and just kind of gotten on the same page with him?
Yeah, I mean, life happens, man. He was going through a divorce, you know. Everybody's been there, down and out. It happens, you know. I'm not going to hold it against them. It's, you know, shit happens. That's why they have toilet paper. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he's a great guy. We had so much fun. The backstage segment we did that one time in Vegas is still one of my favorites. It's the most ridiculous off-the-wall backstage segment, but, man, was it fun. We had so much fun wrestling together. He's a great guy, great in-ring mind. He like, oh my God, the stuff he would set up for us and the double team moves and all that kind of stuff. He's amazing. I mean, you know, his body of work speaks for itself. But I loved working with him. We had so much fun and chemistry, and it's a shame, but hey, you know, hindsight's always 20/20, and you know, people got to get their life in order, and I understand that. And he was going through some stuff, and you know, I don't hold it against him. It's, you know, it is what it is. It happens to everybody sooner or later, you know.
As we start to wind down here, I gotta ask, because you are now a part of MLW. Other than, I know you're gonna want gold, I get that. Is there anyone else in the ring that you want to face off with in MLW?
Oh man, there's a lot of good talent there. I mean, I have my little cheat sheet here that I didn't even get to yet, but yeah, I mean, MLW, we got, you know, Timothy Thatcher's coming back after 4 years. He's making his return. It's actually the first live MLW special in 4 years. It's, you know, we got the Hammerstone Alex Kane World Championship match. We got Jacob Fatu versus Calvin Tankman. You know, the one I'm looking forward to is the Fans Bring the Weapons match with the Samoan SWAT team. Because, you know, like I said, I'm very tight with the Samoans. Yeah, one of the main reasons I'm even where I'm at right now is, you know, Samu, and, you know, now I'm getting to work with his son Lance. So I've gotten all 3 generations of the Samoans, so that's kind of cool. I used to travel with Eki at WWE. I met the Usos when they were just young teenagers looking to get into wrestling, and look at them now. So it's kind of cool, like the road I've traveled through wrestling, knowing, you know, Alpha, Samu, Lloyd, Alpha Jr., you know, now Lance. Alpha Jr. has his own federation now in Broadheadsville, Pennsylvania. I work with them once a month, every month. Battlefield Pro Wrestling. So if anybody's up in that area, last Sunday of every month we do shows. Stop by, check us out. And but back to MLW, we have, you know, I think they're one of the best kept secrets in wrestling. We have a style different than everybody else. We do a little everything. We have the hardcore, we got the lucha type stuff, you know, all kind of stuff. So if you're a true at heart wrestling fan, this kind of covers all the bases. And that's what's cool about MLW, and that's why I wanted to be a part of it. Plus, like I said, I've known Court forever. Him and I actually met at Dory Funk's camp back when I was looking to break into wrestling. So he's actually one of the reasons, probably the reason, that I hooked up with the Samoans, because he referred me to Samu to do a tour. So my very first tour was with Samu, and we hit the whole Middle East, you know, all throughout Southeast Asia. We were all over the place. I was gone a month. So I got a quick tutelage on, you know, the business, and Sam broke me in, his brother Lloyd. And like I said, got to work with Alpha Jr. a lot. And just, you know, what a family tree, man. Just look at the wrestling business. There's always been a Samoan, always been, you know, a top guy, Samoan. Look at Roman now. You know, I used to travel with his brother Matty. You know, I knew Joe when he was just a college football player at Georgia Tech. So it's kind of cool to see how these guys are progressing in the business. But you know, I'm just honored to be involved. I love entertaining. I love wrestling. I love performing. And MLW gives you a little of everything, man. They got, you know, they touch all the bases. It's a top-notch production. Let's watch the TV show. It's on TV. You can stream it on the YouTube channel. It's on Reels. They got all, you know, all kind of stuff going on. I'm truly honored and privileged to be involved. And as the show title says, never say never with Snitsky, MLW, or pro wrestling, because you just never know where I'm going to show up or where I'm going to knock somebody's teeth out. Anything could happen. That's the beauty of pro wrestling. And no matter what does happen, everybody in the world knows it's not my fault.
There you go. The unglued master of pain, Gene Snitsky, will be in action July the 8th at MLW Never Say Never at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. Go get your tickets if you're in town at MLW2300.com, or you can watch.
Yep, they start at just $15. Get your tickets. Stop by. I'm going to be kicking somebody's butt. It doesn't matter who. But like I said, if it's Micro Man, I'm going to change him into Nanometer Man. Do your research, guys. See what that means, because I do, and I know how to inflict pain. And there's pain coming to Philly this Saturday night. MLW, be there, or I will find you and snap you like a twig.
That doesn't sound good at all.
The unglued master of press is what I want to start calling you.
Oh, and don't forget, go to ProWrestlingTees.com, buy my merch, get some now. Do it.
Plug your socials too while you're here, and then we're good to go.
The Real Snitsky on Instagram, Big Gene Snitsky on Twitter. I don't usually do Facebook or wrestling fans, but I also am on Facebook. If you get to meet me in person, I'll usually friend you on Facebook as well. But I try to leave the wrestling to Twitter and Instagram. But just want to, thank all the fans. There'd be no Snitsky without them. So make sure you, follow along and all the crazy stuff that my wife and I do on social media, because I'm also into four-wheeling. My wife and I go four-wheeling quite often, and she likes to have fun just as much as I do. So we're always looking to have some sort of adventure out here in the coal regions of Pennsylvania.
Snitsky, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. And
No worries.
Have fun on July 8th. We'll see what you do.
Well, you will see, and make sure you check out MLW and all the platforms, Reels, YouTube. Check their YouTube channel out Thursday nights at 8. And, of course, check me out, Snitsky. I'll be there. Somebody's going to get hurt. Mark my words. Ha!
All right. Take care, Snitsky. Thanks again.
Thank you, Snitsky.
All right, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for having me.